If you're a home seller right now in the real estate market, the number one thing you're going to want to do is price your home properly. It's not the opportunity in this marketplace to get 2022 pricing. Price it properly if you actually want to sell. And the reason why you want to price it properly is because there's opportunity in other sides of the market and you can make it up on the buy side of things. Right now we're seeing inventory increase. We're up 32% in overall inventory across the board. And especially if you're looking to move to a condo or in a townhome, right now there is additional inventory coming on the marketplace, and there will be continued more. And that market is a little bit different than the single family home market. So whether you're buying, selling, investing, whatever the situation is, you're going to want to make sure, and you want to get out of the market, price it right. If you're curious about what's happening right now in the real estate market, stay tuned to the video. We're going to get into the March statistics. There are some impacts that is happening in the real estate market, and it's not interest rates. Make sure you don't miss out on what's actually causing some of the delayed reaction and causing the current marketplace that we're in. Hey, it's Mark here with Selling Kelowna Real Estate Group, and we're looking at the real estate market statistics. So if you're looking to buy, sell, invest here in the Okanagan, anywhere, reach out, give us a call, pick up the email, and we'd love to help you out. And if you just want to have information put right into your inbox, there's a link below, and subscribe to the weekly email where you're going to get market specific information every week into your inbox there, so you helps you make an educated decision. Because we all know buying and selling real estate is stressful at the best of times, and right now it's one of those times where it's not necessarily the best of the times, and you really want to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. So as we get into the real estate market statistics for March, we're looking at $103 million less sales this year in March compared to what it was last year in March. So we've seen a drastic drop in overall home price dollar volume, and we've also seen average sale price come down. We're currently at $826,000 for the average residential sale price, and that is compared to in 2022 the peak at $984,000. So there is a big discrepancy in the difference in the peak and what is sold and what it currently is. Last year's we're only down about $30,000 from $30,000 to $40,000 from last year at $860,000 for average sale price. And keep in mind, the average sale price doesn't necessarily mean property values are coming down. It just means the properties that are selling maybe are less valued. If you think about interest rates right now, interest rates are higher than they were in 2022. So it does make a lot more sense that interest rates has caused the drop. All else things considered equal, people are not able to qualify for a higher mortgage amount, and that's bringing down the average price point. If you do want to sell in, I do have some good news though. If you do want to sell in this real estate market, homes right now are selling fairly quickly. So we are seeing a real estate market where if you price it correctly, it can sell fairly quickly if you do need to get into it. When we're looking at these average sales, we're seeing 7 days on market, 2 weeks on market, 12 days on market. Homes that are selling very close to when they list. So we are seeing the average days on market coming down. The average is at 35 days on market, which seems substantially low. It's higher than that because we are seeing quite a few relists. People are taking it off the market and relisting it, get rid of that stale dated. Homes are starting to show better. So if you listed back in October or December when the sun and it wasn't the greatest weather and it just didn't show the property, this is right now in the marketplace where we're starting to see a lot more new listings coming up. Here is over the last 10 years what the average number of listings are month over month. So these are the new listings here on the right. So in March, we saw 1,136 total listings coming on the marketplace. The true inventory didn't change though. This is where we're saying it's different inventory, because we can see there's 2,140 in end of February, and now we have 2,530 active listings at the end of March here. So we are seeing inventory increase there. And if you do want to know that stat there, inventory is up 32% from where it was last year. So if we come to March here of last year, we are at 1,895 active listings. And we saw about 300 new listings come on the market this March compared to what it was last March. So that is something that we're watching, inventory coming up. But where is this inventory coming from? As we're looking at the real estate market, we're going to look and just see where the inventory is coming from, because we are seeing a number of different external factors that are impacting the real estate market. If you look at the impact of short-term rentals to the marketplace, so let's look at what's happening here with the residential apartment market, and we're going to do it just for the Central Okanagan. If you do want any specific statistics, I'd be happy to give it to you and send it your way. So we are seeing 686 active listings at the moment, and what we saw in March for new listings on the market, 295 new listings. And let's just compare it to what it was last year. So we're up about 170 some listings, about 174 listings from where we were last March. New active listings were not too, about 70 listings, 64 listings there. And as we look at the real estate market here, we're just starting to see where the number of, there's a lot of seasonality to these numbers. We don't want to compare month over month. We do want to compare a month from last year. So in March of 2022, we had 256 total active listings, roughly about the same new active listings on the market. And as we go back, let's go back to 2016 for the market, and when things were good. 2017, 356 active listings, 243 new on the market. So when we look at it, 456 until back in 2016, market was really starting to pick up there, down from March of 2015 of 596 active listings. So we're not too bad, but we are definitely higher than where we have been in the marketplace. There has really not been since May and April of 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020, but look at the active number of listings, and then it just dropped once the fall came. And it just started to drop, and it's just stayed relatively low. So we have seen this amount of inventory in the past, especially during this era here where a lot of people didn't want to get into these types of properties. But what we are seeing, even prior to that, in 2019, we saw some increases there in inventory. But what we are seeing is buyers in this marketplace are just not willing to pull the trigger. They're waiting to see what is going to happen. So we see inventory come up. Let's just take a look at the number of sales and then the new listings here. And let's just compare these two as we're doing everything on the fly. So a lot of this is going to be impacted from short-term rental restrictions on it, because a lot of people do not want to pull the trigger because they don't know what the impact will be. And if we're going to start to see more supply coming on the market, why pull the trigger now if prices might come down? So here in the left-hand side is sales. On the right-hand side are those new listings coming on the market. So in March, we had 81 listings sold for apartments. And if we compare that to 2021, we had 267 sold and 318 on the market. In 2023, 130 sold. In 2022, we had 201. So you're seeing a significant drop in sales in the marketplace. So this, if you are a seller, this is where you have to make sure you are pricing things accordingly. It's not an easy market to navigate. Price is everything and depends on the product. Some homes are still selling, but you just need to make sure you're that much more significant with what is on the marketplace. And the other side of the marketplace that is impacted too is going to be the small scale multi-unit housing that is impacting it. So the short-term rental rules that are coming in effect in May are really causing an impact in the supply, especially on the apartment side of things, as we're going to start to see increased supply of some of those short-term rentals that don't cash flow otherwise. They're going to come onto the marketplace because they can't put a long-term tenant in it because it's just financially not going to be feasible. So that is something that continue to watch, and what we're seeing is even home buyers that are looking for the condos, not even in the condo market, but in the single family home market, they're holding out because of that short-term rental rules, but also impacting, come end of June, there is going to be a small scale multi-unit housing here, and we have it here, the overview here. So this is the short-term rental overview. If you're not familiar with it, reach out and I'd be happy to walk you through this whole short-term rental and how it's impacting Kelowna specifically. And this is the small scale multi-unit housing, all provincial legislation coming into it. But this is where you're going to allow about 3 to 4 units in single family zones that are going to be allowed, and up to 6 units near frequent bus stops. So there is going to be coming increased density, and we are seeing the investment side of things kind of drop off, and we're not seeing a whole lot of investors in the real estate market right now, just holding out because things aren't going to make sense here. And so when we're looking at the real estate market, in the left-hand column here, in the middle column, you have the total number of sales for single-family homes. And here is the active number new listings this month. So we had 640 active or new listings coming on the market and 135 sold. So how does that compare to what it was last year? 194 sold around the same time, and 501 homes came on the market. Arguably, we're a little bit earlier weather-wise. Things are starting to spring a little bit earlier this year, so we are watching to see what happens, and maybe everything's just got shifted up a little bit because of the weather. But that is and we had an early Easter, so a lot of people will want to list before the Easter holiday. So we'll continue to watch that in April, just see if the overall inventory had really changed, because that is a seasonality thing, external impact that could impact what is happening. In March of 2022, so we saw 319 sales. So if we look at that, we're way down from the total number of sales and what it was in 2022, and even down about 60 sales from what it was in last year in 2023. 2021, we're going through some external time. These are just not the greatest times to really be comparing to. Back in 2021 and 2022, 461. So roughly about half of 2/3 of what was coming on the market was selling. In March of 2020, 192 sold. So even with everything that was happening in March of 2020, we had 192 solds. And March of 2019, about 147. So we are kind of more seasonality, but sales are still down from what the 10-year average was. 2018, 197 total single family homes. So there is a change in 2017. Look at that number, 263 total sales. 2016, 321. So we are down from the 10-year average for number of sales, and we are seeing inventory increase here. So this is where we're just going to see the total active number of listings on the single family home side of things. And this is the other impact of what's happening in the real estate market is with the small scale multi-unit housing impacts, this is going to be drastically impacted. We're seeing inventory at 1,361 active listings. That's the highest we've seen since June of 2023, pretty close to it. In August, so we've seen last summer, we saw inventory increase a little bit on the single family home side of things, but month over month, that's the biggest increase we've seen for a while. So we are seeing inventory overall is up 32%. So, and part of that is going to be up on the single family home side of things. So if you do have any questions on the real estate market, or if there's anything I can do for you, feel free to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text message, whatever you need, I got your back.